The attic was always cold. It was the kind of cold that seeped into your bones, making you shiver even in the warmest of clothes. The chill seemed to come from the very walls, as if the attic itself was alive and breathing out icy air. Dust motes danced in the pale light from a single cobweb-laced window. They floated lazily, caught in the beams of sunlight that managed to pierce through the grime-covered glass. It was a mesmerizing sight, almost magical, as if the dust particles were tiny fairies performing a delicate ballet. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of decay and forgotten things. It was a mix of old wood, mildew, and the unmistakable aroma of time itself. Every breath felt like inhaling history, each particle of dust a fragment of a long-lost story. I pushed past stacks of musty boxes, my heart pounding with anticipation and a tremor of fear. Each box was a potential treasure trove filled with relics of the past, but there was also the fear of what I might uncover, secrets that were perhaps better left buried. The old house held whispers of secrets. It was as if the very walls were alive, murmuring tales of the people who had lived there, their joys and sorrows, their triumphs and tragedies. The attic, in particular, seemed to be the keeper of these stories, a silent guardian of memories. I could feel them in the creaking floorboards and smell them in the damp air. Every step I took was accompanied by the groan of old wood, a sound that echoed through the silent space. The air was thick with the scent of dampness, a reminder of the attic's age and the passage of time. Each step deeper into the attic felt like stepping further back in time. The deeper I went, the more I felt disconnected from the present, as if I was walking through a portal to the past. The objects around me, covered in dust and cobwebs, were relics of a bygone era, each with its own story to tell. This is where I found it. Amidst the clutter and chaos, there was a moment of clarity, a discovery that would change everything. It was as if the attic had been waiting for me, holding on to this secret until the right moment. A tarnished silver mirror hidden beneath a moth-eaten tapestry. It called to me. The mirror was old, its surface marred by time, but there was something captivating about it. It felt like it held a piece of the past, a reflection not just of the present, but of all the moments that had come before. The mirror was heavier than it looked. As I strained to lift it, I could feel the weight of its history pressing down on me. It wasn't just a piece of furniture. It was a relic from another time, carrying with it the stories and secrets of those who had gazed into it before me. Its ornate silver frame was cold beneath my fingers, the intricate designs telling tales of craftsmanship long forgotten. Each curve and swirl seemed to whisper of a bygone era, a time when such beauty was painstakingly created by hand. The metal dulled with age, yet it retained a certain elegance, a testament to its enduring charm. The tarnish only added to its character like wrinkles on a wise old face. I ran my hand over its surface, feeling the rough etchings of time. The glass was cool and smooth, but beneath my fingertips I could sense the countless hands that had touched it before me, each leaving a trace of their presence. It was a beautiful thing, even hidden under layers of grime. The dirt and dust seemed to protect it, preserving its beauty for those willing to look beyond the surface. I held my breath, my heart pounding, as I wiped away the dust. Each stroke of the cloth revealed a little more of the mirror's true self, like uncovering a hidden treasure. In the mirror's depths, my own reflection stared back, my eyes wide with a mixture of apprehension and excitement. It was as if the mirror was a portal, showing not just my image, but a glimpse into my soul. For a moment I thought I saw something else, a fleeting shadow behind my image. It was there, and then gone like a ghostly presence that had momentarily stepped into view. It vanished when I blinked. I shook my head, trying to dispel the eerie feeling that had settled over me. Surely it was just a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination. A nervous laugh escaped my lips. I couldn't help but feel a little foolish standing there, spooked by my own reflection. It was just the play of light and shadow, wasn't it? I told myself it was nothing more than an optical illusion, but a part of me couldn't shake the feeling that the mirror held more than just my reflection. It held memories, echoes of the past, and perhaps a few secrets yet to be discovered. The mirror quickly became my obsession. I hung it in my bedroom, unable to resist its pull. Each day, I found myself drawn to its enigmatic depths, searching for something that lay beyond my reflection. Sometimes late at night, I thought I heard whispers coming from the mirror's surface. Soft, sibilant murmurs that sent shivers down my spine. I told myself it was the house settling, the wind whistling through the eaves. But deep down, a seed of unease began to grow. The nightmares started subtly. At first, they were just fleeting images, barely noticeable, like shadows at the edge of my vision. I would wake up with a vague sense of unease, but nothing more. It was easy to dismiss them as just dreams, the kind that everyone has from time to time, just fleeting images that flickered at the edge of my sleep. They were like whispers in the dark, barely audible but impossible to ignore. Each night the images grew a little clearer, a little more defined. I started to see shapes, figures that moved in the shadows. A dark figure with eyes like burning coals. It would stand at the foot of my bed watching me. I could feel its gaze, heavy and oppressive, even though I couldn't see its face. The eyes were the worst part, glowing with a malevolent light that seemed to pierce through the darkness. A sense of suffocating dread. It was like a weight pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I would wake up gasping for air, my heart pounding in my chest. The fear was so intense, so real, that it took me a few moments to realize I was awake. Each night the dreams became more vivid, more terrifying. The dark figure was always there, lurking in the shadows, watching me. The images were so clear, so detailed, that it felt like I was living through a nightmare. I started to dread going to sleep, knowing that the nightmares would be waiting for me. I would wake up in a cold sweat, my heart racing, the echo of fear clinging to me. The nightmares were starting to take a toll on me. I was exhausted, both physically and mentally. I couldn't escape the feeling that something was watching me, even when I was awake. And always in the back of my mind was the image of the mirror. It was an old, ornate mirror that had been in my family for generations. I'd never paid much attention to it before, but now it seemed to dominate my thoughts. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something wrong with it, the way it seemed to watch me, even in the darkness. It was as if the mirror had a life of its own, a malevolent presence that was always there, lurking in the background. I started to avoid looking at it, but it was impossible to ignore. It was always there, watching, waiting. One night I woke from a particularly horrifying dream to find myself staring into the mirror's depths. My reflection seemed distorted, twisted, as if the mirror was showing me a glimpse of another world. A world where the dark figure was real and it was coming for me. And for the briefest of moments I saw it again, the dark figure. This time it smiled. It was a smile that sent chills down my spine, a smile that promised nothing but pain and suffering. I knew then that the nightmares were not just dreams. They were a warning, a glimpse of the horror that awaited me. Doubt gnawed at my sanity. Was I losing my mind? The line between dreams and reality blurred. My reflection in the mirror no longer seemed like my own. My eyes were filled with a haunted look that chilled me to the bone. My fear was a living thing, wrapping its icy fingers around my throat, squeezing the air from my lungs. I couldn't escape it, not even in the cold light of day. The mirror was changing me, twisting my thoughts, amplifying my deepest fears. I knew I had to get rid of it. Section 6. The walls are closing in. But I couldn't. The thought of being away from the mirror filled me with a terror I couldn't explain. It was as if it had become a part of me, a dark passenger in the recesses of my mind. The nightmares intensified, spilling over into my waking hours. I saw shadows lurking at the edge of my vision, heard whispers in the rustling leaves. The walls of my reality were closing in, suffocating me with their oppressive presence. I was trapped. Section 7. Trapped in reflection. One night, I woke to find myself standing in front of the mirror. My reflection stared back at me, but it wasn't me. It was the figure from my nightmares. Its eyes, burning like hot coals, held me captive in their unrelenting gaze. Panic surged through me. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. I was frozen, paralyzed by fear. The reflection reached out, its icy fingers brushing against mine, and a cold dread seeped into my bones. I was trapped in its reflection, my sanity slipping away. Section 8. A desperate escape. With a surge of adrenaline, I tore my gaze away from the mirror. I had to escape its grasp, had to break free from its hold on my sanity. I stumbled back, tripping over my own feet, and fled from the room. I didn't stop running until I reached the sanctuary of the garden, gasping for breath, the cool night air stinging my lungs. Looking back at the house, I could see the faint glow of the mirror in the window. It was watching me. I knew it. But I was free. For now. Section 9. The unanswered question. I never went back into that room. The mirror remained a haunting reminder of the terror it held. I moved on with my life, but the experience left an indelible mark on my psyche. Sometimes in the dead of night I still wake up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. And I wonder, was it all real? Or was it simply a manifestation of my own deepest fears? The question lingers unanswered, a chilling whisper in the back of my mind, like a reflection in a shattered mirror.